lot of Americans that come out to visit with me. I said, if you really want to understand what's happening here, to people who are living in cardboard houses, people who don't have a blanket, just set your thermostat to about 45 in your house. Not enough to where it's going to bust your pipes or you're going to have damage to your home, but just enough to where you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And just stay like that for just one night. And then in the morning, get up and pray for the children of Mexico who spend night after night after night after night like that.
Yeah.
Just to try to shake us, to try to wake us up a little bit to what's really happening. And I've shared that for years. I haven't heard of one person yet that's done it.
Yeah.
They've never come back and said, I did that. I shut my thermostat off and I about froze. I went to a church one time and shared for $5 we could save a child from freezing to death. And it just kind of zinged over the top of their heads. And they didn't get it. And no one wanted to give. No one wanted to participate. They said, well, we're doing a lot of stuff in our community. And there was a 10-year-old little girl who didn't miss it.
Yeah.
She went to school. I don't know, did I tell you guys this already?
No.
She went to school on Monday, and her mom gave her $1 to buy lunch. And she didn't eat lunch, she fasted lunch. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And on Sunday, she went to church, and the pastor said, anyone here have a testimony? And she put her little hand up and said, I want to testify. Went to the front of the church and said, remember that missionary that was here last week? He said we could save a child from freezing to death this year for only $5. Well, I didn't eat lunch all week. Here's my $5.
Wow.
Pastor began to cry. That church began to cry. It was a small church, a little rural church. They sent me $500.
Wow.
With a letter telling me how their 10-year-old little girl moved their whole church to compassion and action because of her compassion. Man, I took that $500 and came to Mexico and bought up all their blankets. And I remember this merchant grabbed me, he was a young guy, grabbed me by my coat and shook me and said, you rich Americans, you come to our country to buy up all of our blankets and our people are freezing. Now, I don't know, you guys haven't spent that much time with me, but I'm not the kind of guy you want to grab a hold of. I think God keeps some of us barely saved. I might be one of those guys, I'm not sure. But I'm like, man, you're going to get witnessed to today. Either up here or down there, but you're going to get witnessed to. And I pulled it back and I said, no. These blankets aren't for Americans. These blankets are for your children. I have a family who heard that your children were freezing. They gave me this money. And freely I've received it. Freely I'm giving it away. And I'm buying these blankets to give away to the children who live in Anapra who are freezing to death. And out of the corner of my eye, he had 2 guys with him. So I got 3 guys in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to throw down with these guys. and the guy that grabbed my coat started to cry. And he said, how can I know Jesus like you know Jesus? And I had going through my head, all these spiritual laws and all this stuff that you got to do to come to Jesus. And I'm like, no. My Bible says, those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So I said, come. I said, let's call on Jesus. Jesus, these men want you to come into their hearts. They want you to forgive them of their sins. They want you to make them brand new creatures. come into their lives, fill them with your spirit, give them the power to live a life different for you. And that night, 3 men gave their lives to Christ, became born again, because a little girl years old, who's never been here, was moved to compassion. I think those men go to her credit. See, you never know what your gift is going to do. That's why I always tell people, have the courage to be obedient. You may not understand it, but if the Holy Spirit is saying go, get up and go. If He's saying give, then give. Just have the courage to be obedient and then leave the results to God.
Yeah.
You know, I meet so many people that are frustrated and have all of this disillusionment or regrets. You know, I meet a lot of retired people that are full of regrets. And I'm like, no. If you've gotten up this morning and opened your eyes, you have a beautiful gift called today. No matter what happened or whatever your regrets are, today's a brand new day. Start again. Give, go, do. You know, for Christ. And you'll watch the regrets fade away. They just do. They just fade away.